Yo, what's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? Welcome to another day, another blessing, true healing and recovery with your boy, Coach Mikey Rowe. How you doing, man? We are always blessed and honored to have you guys fellowship with us here on the show and our community. We are having so much fun, man. Just being ourselves and just being transparent with where we are on our road of recovery and oh man, we got some wonderful things going on. So I'm gonna give a couple of minutes because I know I said we're going live at 7:30. It is 7:24 right now, but I'm just gonna give some folks enough time to jump in, to jump on, hopefully. But again, we're gonna do a live. Probably we are going to edit, throw it up on Spotify. For those of you that aren't familiar, we do have this on Spotify and Apple. So we're gonna have fun doing this. And if you want, you guys should know questions. There will be a Q&A. Actually, just leave a comment. There's a Q&A whenever you guys like. So definitely doing that. Let me just expand this. Yep. Okay. All right. So what we counting down? We got a couple of minutes, man. I just always get so excited. I just get so excited, man. And let us see. Bang, bang. Anyway, all right. Couple of minutes. Making sure everything is up to date, up to par. We got some new equipment going on, and I just want to make sure. I believe our comments is let's see. All right. Let's see. I hope it comes on. So, all right. Okay. You. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing a lot of things different than what we've been doing them in the past, the last year and a half. One of the things that we realize is that we are recovery coaching and life coaching. We throw a lot of content out there, motivational, inspirational, all of the good things that we feel like help us individually and help those in the community. But then I realized, I said, oh my goodness, we don't really throw out coaching tips and interaction type of things to help you guys. So we started this month. We have the whole year planned. There's going to be a topic for each month. Each video that goes out weekly will be inspirational, will be motivational, but it will also have coaching instructions for you guys to utilize on your growth and your own at home. And so, but you got to tune into that video, okay? All right. So let's jump right into this. Let's do this. Let's have fun tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, right now, you're listening to this. I want to talk to every parent. I want to talk to spouse, every sibling, every son, and every daughter who's been carrying the weight of someone else's addiction. This is what I want to talk about today. The title of today's show is going to be Breaking the Cycle. Loving without losing yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Loving without losing yourself. So again, this is to the individual, to the parents, to the spouse, to the siblings, every son or daughter that been carrying the weight of someone else's addiction. If you love them, you want to see them win, but you're exhausted. You are exhausted. You're confused. You're angry. You're hopeful. You're disappointed, all at the same time. And if that's you, if you're listening, if that's you, right now, this podcast is for you. This podcast is for you, and I really hope it hits home. But before we dive in, please hit that follow, the subscribe. I want you to share this live right now because, listen, there is somebody in your life who needs this message as much as you do. So don't keep this to yourself, man. Healing is a team sport, you know? So let's talk about addiction. How addiction does not just destroy the individual that you're using. It destroys the entire ecosystem around that individual, ladies and gentlemen. The families that are aged 30 to 65, this is the season where marriages get shaken, kids are confused, parents are terrified. The siblings, they don't really know how to help. Your career suffers, your savings disappear, depleted. And one of the most important things is trust is totally broken, ladies and gentlemen. And everyone asks the same questions. How do you help? How do you help without losing yourself? That's the heart of tonight's discussion, ladies and gentlemen, or tonight's conversation. How do I help without losing myself? So if you've ever felt helpless, if you've ever felt guilty, scared, angry, or stuck, drop a me in the comments whenever you're hearing this. All right? See, families don't talk about this publicly. We don't talk about this publicly, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, I have lived experience. For those of you that don't know me and just seeing and hearing for the first time, I have lived experience with addiction. My brothers, my family, my mother and my brothers and I, we had a drug abusive father. His drug of choice was crack cocaine, among some other things. But we experienced it. We experienced this addiction, and we never truly talked about it really in the public. Never. We whispered, right? I'm sure if you're familiar, you whisper, we hide, we cover things up. Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Because addiction brings shame on both ends. The addict is full of shame, full of regret, and the family is full of shame and embarrassment. It creates secrets. It makes people worry about being judged, blamed, misunderstood. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we expose this truth tonight. And I want to make the bold claim. You didn't cause it. You can't control it. And unfortunately, some people don't want to hear this, but family member, you can't cure it. You can't. You can't. But you can create an environment where recovery becomes possible. See, this is the moment where I want you to, this is important, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to take this opportunity to share this live right now. Share this podcast. If you haven't already, see, when you hit share, when you're sharing this with somebody, you're not posting. You're planting a seed in someone else's family, ladies and gentlemen. So come on, take a few seconds and do that. So this part of what we're going to discuss. This is the part where families usually get stuck. What do you mean, Coach Mike? So we're gonna define how we're gonna do this. Defining enabling versus support. Okay, we're gonna define the two. We're gonna try to dive into that. And like I said, this is where the families. This part is where the families usually get stuck. So what does enabling mean, ladies and gentlemen? I'll give you guys a second to reflect. Let your thoughts, your experiences come up with what your definition of or what is the meaning of enabling. Enabling, right? Here's what I'm going to call it as: protecting a loved one from the consequences of their choice. That's enabling. Paying bills for them. That's enabling. Making excuses for them. Covering their lies. Rescuing them every time there's a crisis. Taking responsibility that isn't yours. That's enabling. When it comes to addiction, that is enabling, ladies and gentlemen. See, support is completely different than what we just spoke on. Support means, what does support mean? Support means holding boundaries with love. Love without boundaries is dangerous, folks. Support also means encouraging treatment, not forcing, you better handle that and you better encourage. Guiding them towards resources that they may not even realize they've had or had the ability to obtain. Having honest conversations. This is important. Or support also can mean refusing to participate in the addiction. Oh, well, I don't use with them. There are different ways that you folks need to understand that how they participate. I mean, if you're buying them the alcohol, if you're giving them the money, that's you. I mean, come on, you're participating. But support, the last thing that I feel, support me is staying emotionally available without sacrificing your sanity. That's key to understand, folks. So let me break it down simply again for you, all right? Enabling feels like love, but it protects the addiction. Enabling feels like love, but it protects the addiction. Support is love because it protects the recovery. See, if that resonates with you, do me a favor, type love is support in the comment section. And if this is a blessing, if it's hitting you so far, please hit the follow. We go live weekly to help families and individuals break the cycle, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. So let's talk about the family ripple effect. Let's really talk about the silent impact. Addiction creates roles inside of the family, if you don't know. Okay? There are roles inside of an addictive family. This is mind-blowing when you really sit back and think. If you can really hold on to this and evaluate if you went through this, evaluate if you're going through this, go grab a pen and a pencil, get your phone ready to write some notes. So here's what we're going to talk about. What we're going to talk about is the family ripple effect, ladies and gentlemen. Addiction creates roles inside of the family. So the first role that we're going to talk about that addiction creates is number one, the rescuer. The rescuer. What is that? This is the person who always rushes in to fix everything. Second role that it creates is the peacemaker. This is the one who avoids conflict, who keeps the peace, absorbs the pain. The third role is the enforcer, the tough one, lays down rules but feels guilty afterward. The fourth one, is the ghost. This is the one who emotionally checks out because the chaos is just too much to handle. So the first one I got is the rescuer. The second one I have is the peacemaker. The third is the enforcer. The fourth is the ghost. All right. Now here's the fifth and final one that I've thought about. This one is called the hero. This is the one who tries to be perfect so no one sees how broken things really are. And often families don't even realize that they're families don't even realize that they're playing one of these roles. And here's the truth. These roles keep the addiction alive. It keeps these roles that I thought about, they keep the addiction alive, ladies and gentlemen. But guess what? Awareness breaks the pattern. So if you see yourself in one of these roles, do me a favor. If you see yourself in one of these roles, comment the number. Which role is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? And this is not judgment, ladies and gentlemen. It's self-awareness. So number 1 was the rescuer. Number 2 is the peacemaker. Number 3, the enforcer. Number 4 is the ghost. Number 5 is the hero. If you see yourself in one of those roles, comment the number that you are. Again, right now, we just focus on self-awareness, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is the part every family needs to hear right now. Boundaries. Let's talk about boundaries, ladies and gentlemen. Boundaries are not walls. They are not walls, ladies and gentlemen. Boundaries are bridges. Boundaries, they tell people where the safe path is. Boundaries they're not punishment. We have to start understanding when you're dealing with a loved one who's in addiction, their boundaries are not punishment. They're protection, ladies and gentlemen. They are protection. And here are the boundaries. Here are 4 boundaries. Hint, hint. It's a coach. I'm giving you guys something right now. This is a coaching moment. Here are 4 boundaries that every family needs. Right now, the first one, which is to me very important, ladies and gentlemen, is the emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries, ladies and gentlemen. It's I love you, but I will not argue when you're under the influence. As mad as I get, as frustrated as I get, I love you, but I will not argue when you're under the influence. Very important. You got to protect your emotions. The second one is, they're all very important. The second one is financial boundaries. You have to create some financial boundaries. What do I mean by that? You're telling that individual, the one battling addiction, yo, I can't pay your bills, bro. I can't give you the money all the time, but I can help you look for a treatment that works or some work on the side. Financial boundaries. You can't keep being the financial source for those individuals. Our third one is communication boundaries. Communication is another very important thing. I'll talk to you when you're sober, not during all this chaos. Now, it may be easier said than done. You might be with a violent drunk or violent individual, and you work on this. This is not something, I mean, some of you can try it right away if you like. But, you work it. You work that magic. Communication boundaries. And then the fourth thing, which is very important, is safety boundaries. You have to get to a point where there's no substance use in this home. It's very, I can hear some of you right now, yo, Coach Mike, it's easier said than done, and this, that, and that. These are things that we got to work on, ladies and gentlemen. It's time you're hearing this. But these are some really, really helpful, useful things if you're dealing with someone having substance abuse in your home. I mean, here's a powerful statement that you can use. Here's a powerful statement that you can use tonight or start using if a situation arises. You ready? Okay. I love you too much to support behavior that's destroying you. You can say it calmly, say it firmly, say it consistently. I love you way too much to support that behavior that's destroying you. Tell your loved one that. See, families, I want you to understand, this is extremely important. Those of us in addiction, deep down inside, we're hurting, and most of us. And when you guys say these things to us, it really does go in deep. And we got to learn these things. So families, if this is hitting home, please type boundaries in the comment. Do me a favor, type boundaries. Let me see some of that. I want to know who I'm talking to. Who are we talking to right now? So let's talk about support versus rescue, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give you the real difference, all right? The real simplified difference. Rescue. What is that? You're relieving the pressure today. That's when you're trying to rescue someone. You want relieving the pressure today. Support is helping them grow tomorrow. Rescue says, I'll fix it for you. I'll fix that for you, Mike. I'll take care of it. Support says, I'll stand with you while you fix it. You're supporting them. You're standing with them. You're giving them that support that they need, but you're not doing the things for them. See, you want to empower the person. You don't want to carry them. You want to guide them. You don't want to drag them. You want to help them recover, not keep them comfortable. Hey, one more thing. If you're tired of rescuing, comment no more rescuing. Come on, I want to see who's listening. I want to see if you're listening to all this. I hope somebody's listening. How families can help. Let's talk about how families can help without losing themselves. This is, I think about it. I think about them brought back into historically how things were handled when I was a child in my family. And, I talk from lived experiences, how families can help. So here's 5 coaching moment. Coaching. Here are 5 simple steps. Well, they're not so simple, but here are 5 steps that every family should practice, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the first one is, I want you to own your lane. Own your lane. Your job is to love, encourage, observe, and support. That is your job. Your job is not to fix, not to hide, or rescue that individual. Okay? So I want you to own your lane. There's no questions. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to learn and own your lane. The second thing that I want you to start doing is stop believing every crisis is your crisis. Addiction creates urgency. Recovery creates responsibility. I hope that hits home with some folks. Sometimes I wonder if I'm too deep. Sometimes I wonder, like, yo, how do I simplify what I have to say? But I hope this is hitting home with some of y'all. The third thing, I want you to require treatment, not promises. See, this is big. This is big. And if you are hearing this and you are in active addiction, you're going to hate that I say this. Because families, if you don't know, we say anything when we're in active addiction. We say anything to keep staying in that active addiction. We lie like a mother. We make it up. So what I mean by require treatment, not promises, because when we lie to you, the promises don't change lives, ladies and gentlemen. The action does. When I was getting my life together, my wife was so tired of hearing of all of the promises. Yo, I'm going to do this, babe. Come on, please, this and that. I'm going to do this. And I put in some work for, 2-3 days and right back to the same thing. Don't talk about it, be about it. So those of you in recovery, those of you that are up and down in recovery, yo, stop talking about it. Live it. Be about it. Show your family, show your loved ones that you're not talking no more. You're putting in that work. And families, stop believing those promises. Let them show it to you. Very important nowadays. You need to, number 4, protect your mental health. Whatever you got to do, you have to protect your mental health. What does that consist of? Therapy, ladies and gentlemen. Therapy. I love therapy. I promote therapy. I think therapy is one of the best things I've ever gotten into. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Go talk to somebody. Share what you're going through. Cry to somebody. Be angry to somebody. Therapy helps. Find a support group, ladies and gentlemen. Support group. There are millions of people that are battling substance abuse, which means their families are battling substance abuse. So there are support groups that are there for each and every one of you. Find yourself a community. Look at modern technology. You can log on anywhere, anytime, and find something. You got to set boundaries also. The boundaries help you protect your mental health. Faith. For me, my faith is in Christ Jesus, right? My family, their faith was in Christ Jesus. Their faith and foundation in Christ helped them. Journal, write things down. Write things down. That's another way to get your feelings out, and then write on particular dates. Michael's actions showed A, B, and C, so you can see the growth. And I always recommend professional guidance. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a recovery coach. I am a life coach. I can show you all of those certifications, right? But I will always promote getting the right professional help or guidance. It's important. Don't let anybody tell you that they're the only, you need every way, shape, or form, because these wounds cut deep, man. And then the 5th and final thing is to practice tough love with soft words. Practice tough love with soft words. Firm stance, right? Firm stance. But that gentle voice. and consistent follow through. Come on now, ladies and gentlemen, families. I know you've been going through it. I know some of you don't want to hear this. Your anger, your frustration, your rage gets in. You can't believe. But these are just simple. Well, I keep saying simple, helpful tools for you to utilize on this road of recovery and helping your loved one with substance abuse. So let's talk about faith. Let's talk about hope and the forward. See, families, you all that are listening here, you family guy, you need healing too. It's not just about the recovering addict and what they went through and they need healing. No, you guys, you all that are listening, you need healing. See, grace saves. Grace saves, man. Truth sets free. Structure stabilizes. Accountability transforms, ladies and gentlemen. So even when you feel helpless, you're planting seeds, family. Even when they push you away, you're holding the line. And even when it hurts, you are still building a bridge. God, the one true living God, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. God restores families, ladies and gentlemen. God rewrites stories. And God rebuilds what addiction tried to destroy. I am first-hand testimony that my story is being rewritten right now as we speak, that he's restoring that what addiction did to me and me destroying my family and hurting them. God is restoring that. It's just amazing. I see it on a daily basis, man. I see it, and the reason why I share and talk and love what I'm doing, is because I'm seeing it firsthand. I'm witnessing God truly transform. It's amazing. So before I close, ladies and gentlemen, listen, if tonight blessed you, if it helped you understand your loved one that's struggling in addiction, if it gave you clarity, strength, or hope, hit follow if you haven't already. Share the live, share the recording. Invite someone into this community. I want you to drop a comment if you want a resource on boundaries. If you need any information, drop a comment, send me a message over here at Another Day, Another Blessing. We here. And listen, every Thursday night right now at 7:30 p.m., we are here, healing, recovering, rising, all together. All right, this community is real, ladies and gentlemen. We are real. This community is needed, and this community is growing because guess what? Because you showed up. So please hear me clearly when I say this. I want you to hear me very clearly. Very clearly. Addiction is powerful, ladies and gentlemen, but family healing is powerful as well. And hope is stronger than both of those things. You are not alone, ladies and gentlemen. You are not powerless, and you're not failing. You're not failing. You are learning, you are growing, and you're becoming stronger every day. And together, you and your family can break generational cycles. So tonight, speak life, speak truth, speak hope, and hold the line, family. Another day, another blessing. I will see you next week, Thursday.